Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John North. John Becker has the morning off. If you've ever gotten a ticket in this town, this show may be of interest to you. We're in the middle of a municipal election, city of Knoxville, and our four guests this morning are all running to be the city judge. One is an incumbent. I'd like to introduce them real quick. We have Tyler Caviness on the end. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you.
Andrew Beamer, Mary Ward, and Judge John Rosson, who is our incumbent. Going to be visiting with those folks this morning, but before we do that, let me introduce our panelists. We've got Don Bosch, an attorney, on the end.
Good morning, and a Democrat. Don't forget that.
And a Democrat, and Eddie Smith, who is not an attorney, who is a Republican.
Yes, I think the only non-attorney right now besides yourself.
Yeah, you know, Eddie, I had that same thought right as we're getting ready to record. I'm like, man, we are surrounded by attorneys right now. I guess we better act good.
Or we don't have to.
And John, the best you can do is sit next to a politician. So
I feel very small this morning. All right. So, as I mentioned, we do have a municipal election coming up. We have four people who are running to be the judge of the city of Knoxville. John Rosson is the incumbent. Let's ask the easiest question first, and that is simply if you could tell us, in your words, why you are running, why you want to continue this job if you happen to be John Rosson, or why if you're one of the challengers. Judge, we'll start with you.
I enjoy the job very much. I enjoy public service. It's my chance to give back to the community. I've been the city judge since 1986 when I was originally appointed by the then existing city judge, Alan Elliott, when he passed away. I do believe one of the reasons I got the job, I applied for it, of course, when he passed away, was because I'd been sitting in for him some when he was ill. I had experience when I first got on the bench. I enjoy the job. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy working with people. The people that come to city court are ordinary people. I'm ordinary people. I enjoy working with the police department, the clerks, and I'm running on my record, and I believe it's a good record. And if you hear this and see it, I'd ask for your support.
Thank you, Judge. Mary Ward.
I am very excited to be here. First of all, I'd like to say that. The reason why I'm running for judge is I've been practicing law 32 years. I feel like I have a lot of experience. I've practiced in both civil courts, criminal courts. I was a former prosecutor, both in Georgia and for 4 years once I moved to Knoxville. I think that I have been also involved in public service for almost 25 years here. I enjoyed being a prosecutor. Now mainly my devotion is to representing folks that are indigent, both at the juvenile courts and the criminal sessions courts. I've tried over 100 cases. I feel like I have the right temperament for the job, and I feel like that it's time for a change. I also feel like that Knoxville is a very diverse place. Mm-hmm. We have folks from all walks of life, and I feel like that I can bring some change to our community and hopefully be very beneficial.
Very good, Mary. All right, Andrew Beamer, this is your chance.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. And I'm running. I've been a lawyer now for 13 years. I've tried cases, both criminal and civil. I have also tried in federal court litigation against Fortune 500 companies. I've been happy to call Knoxville my home for the last 13 years. It's been a great place for me. It's been a place where my practice has been able to flourish. I feel like it is a time, for me, I am looking forward to a challenge. I live close to downtown. I'm super excited that they've built the new courthouse, and I feel like I can give back to the city, and I feel like it's a time and place for me personally and for the city where it's expanding, that it's a great moment, and I want to be a part of it.
Thank you. Tyler.
Thank you. I'm running, I believe I have the perspective and experience to ultimately improve the court for the people of Knoxville. I mean, I've spent the whole summer knocking on doors across the Knoxville community, whether it's in West Hills or in Skip or Fountain City. And what I'm hearing is that people are ready for a change. After 37 years, they are ready for a city court that meets the needs of a quickly evolving city, and also that is adapting to the changes in how we administer law and justice. And I know that I'll have a chance to talk more about these ideas soon, but really, I want to improve the accessibility to the court, the transparency of the court, and bring a ground level perspective of really what issues are impacting our local community and how the court impacts those issues. And so, having worked in private practice, having worked in public defense, I believe I have that experience and can bring a positive change for the next chapter of the city court.
Very good. Thank you. Don Bosch, you get the first question.
So, all of y'all, of course, for our audience sake, the city court enforces the city ordinances. They don't typically enforce the state ordinances and usually don't put people in jail. That's correct. I think you'd all agree there are some rare exceptions. But I'm going to pose this question one way to you, Judge, as the incumbent, and to you three, sort of in the inverse. But, Judge, what's the thing that you think you, as Judge of City Court, do best? And then for the three of you that are running for this judge, what's the one thing you really think needs to change in the structure of City Court within Knoxville? Judge, what's the thing you do best?
Well, I think the most important thing I think any judge, including me, should be able to do is listen to people. People come to court, they come there for a reason. If they just wanted to merely pay the ticket, they would do that at the window or mail it in or do it online. It's my job when they come in to listen to that side and listen to the other side and make hopefully the right decision in every case. I've been doing it since 1986, and I believe I've been fair, listen to both sides. I hope I make the right decision in each and every case. I take time to listen to the people. That's the most important thing, I think.
So, Mary, what would you change? All of you, I assume, has practiced in city court before. I've spent my entire career in front of Judge Rosson, practicing off and on in that court as needed. I think all my friends think I just do their traffic tickets for free. But what would you change? Mary, I'll start with you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think that one of the things that we need to focus on is that we're dealing with people, for the most part, who are not represented. And I think that we need to make sure that the city court is accessible to people, that they understand what the process is to make it much more user-friendly. A lot of times, whether it's city court or sessions court or any courts, you're dealing with people who are very nervous when they're coming in. Many of them have never been to court before. They don't really understand the process. And I think that we need to make sure that we are able to listen to both sides, to evaluate the positions that these people have, and to help them navigate the system. If they are facing a situation where they're possibly at risk of losing their driver's license, which we also often see in city court, I think that we need to be available to people to help them navigate that system and find their way back where they can get their driver's license back. And so I think that the most important thing is to be able to make it much more approachable, much more friendly, and help people navigate.
So you don't feel like it's very approachable right now?
My experience has been that not only with city court but with the sessions court, that people come in, they don't know exactly what the system is, how it works, just simple things like how long are they going to be at court? Are they going to be there 1 hour, 4 hours? I think that also that we need to work together with some of the other agencies, even within the city. And I understand that mainly we're dealing with, traffic matters and violation of city ordinances, noise ordinances. But I think that people need to be able to understand, hey, if you have a bunch of fines that get built up, there is a road back to
Let's
get
get
your
to
driver's
Andrew
license.
and Tyler before we break. Andrew?
Well, I think that Mary brought up the court cost issue. I think that would be my biggest thing. I would like to expand the way people perceive. I feel like with my client base, they'll get a lot of fees built up and they just give up. And they don't come to court, they don't try to pay them, they just kind of hide in a hole. And I think that is very important, especially with this court. There are a lot of fees from this court because it is traffic, and people know when you get in traffic, there's normally a fee of sorts. So it's important, I think, that we push it out and bring as many community leaders as we can to let people know to come to court if they have too many fees, or if they can't pay them, or if they feel like they can't pay them, that the court is accessible, that the court is there to try to help them. And I feel like with my client base, at least, and my experience of this has been, most people are just so afraid of going to court that they almost think they're going to get arrested if they show up.
Tyler,
and we have to give way for
thanks,
that.
Andrew. Tyler, you'll get last word before we go to break.
Yeah, tough question. You said one thing, what's the one thing we would change? And I guess if I had to sum it up, I would say having a more community-focused approach, a more people-focused approach, and thinking about how does this court actually, what is the user experience for the public? Because at the end of the day, you are a public servant. It is the public's courtroom. You're kind of just keeping the seat warm while you're elected. And so, there are some simple things. I have, bigger ideas too, but we can start on time. If we say on our website that we start at 9 o'clock and people take time off work to be there, we start when we tell them court's going to start. We have a website that's more accessible for people, has information that people actually need when they're trying to figure out what happens in city court. You shouldn't have to go to city court to figure out what happens there. So be more community focused.
Thank you, Tyler. We appreciate it. It's time for us to take a break. You're watching Inside Tennessee. More conversation coming up.